Hey guys, welcome to Get Creative. I don't know what episode this is, but I do know that the date is Sunday, February 12th. The Super Bowl is currently going on right now. What's the score on the Super Bowl? If anybody can pull that up for me, please. We've got a live audience in the studio today. Shout out to Ryan Harper. Everybody give a round of applause to Ryan Harper.
Thank you, Ryan.
Making this happen. There he is. He is absolutely unbelievable. I love Ryan Harper. He's helped me for several years from the very first moment I ever met him. If you guys ever need media help running a podcast, Ryan, what other things can you do that you can do for virtual clients? What can you do for them?
Honestly, I don't know. Everything.
Everything is content. Okay, everything. If you guys need help building your brand, shout out Ryan Harper. Ryan, how can people find you, brother?
I don't know. Can you hear me when I do this?
I can.
Yeah. Again, this is the whole. I don't pay any. I pay somebody to do this, and it's not me. That's not the button. That's the button. There it is.
There it is.
Harper Belmont on Instagram. Ryan S. Harper on everything else.
Harper Belmont on Instagram, guys. Go follow him. He is the man behind several brands and several groups here in Dallas, but helps a lot of people all over the country. He helped me a lot during COVID when I was like, okay, I'm going to double down on my brand. This was nearly 3 years ago. And I had already known him for 3 years. So shout out Ryan. Thank you so much. I also have Karolyn and Miron Briley here from Dallas, in Dallas.
Yes.
And you guys are joining me on the Get Creative podcast. Man, we had fun the last week, didn't we?
We really did.
We really did.
Thank you so much.
What'd you learn at the property? Guys, to give you some context, Karolyn and Miron brought a 30-unit deal to me back in July of 2022. We ended up partnering on the deal. We bought the deal for $3 million, 3% interest, and a 50-year term with a gentleman named Mo. And for the first time, I went down to the property this last week on my 9-day Texas road trip. What did you guys learn on the property?
That it costs a lot more than we thought it did.
That's classic.
More than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
Everything costs double. Everything takes twice as long, and you make half as much money as you assumed you were going to.
Yes.
As long as you know that, then your expectations are straight.
Welcome to multifamily.
Welcome to multifamily. So what we found on that property, so we bought this 30-unit. The property will, by the time it's done and operating. By the way, guys, we're going to be answering Q&A tonight. So whatever questions you guys have, throw them in the comments. Carly, the unbelievable ray of sunshine on my team that manages so much behind the scenes, give her some love in the side comments as well. Carly will be popping up questions on the screen tonight. And whatever questions you guys have, Karolyn, Miron, and myself will do our best to answer those. And yes, it is, Tommy says, wow, a 50-year term? Yes, guys, that's what happens when you're a badass, okay? Miron and the team did a great job negotiating all of that kind of stuff. So we get there. It's 30 units, Corpus Christi. The property will generate about $42,000 a month in income once it's up and operational. There are currently 15 units that are vacant. So that's not a great feeling, but that's the beautiful thing about private money. You guys, are you guys ever taking on private money?
Absolutely.
If I'm somebody in the audience and I want to invest with you or partner with you, how do I reach out to you?
The best way I'd say to reach out to us, you can DM us on Instagram at Karolyn.Briley and at Miron Briley.
Myron Briley, yep.
You don't have a dot in your name though?
No dot.
No dot.
Got it. Okay. Do you have to like earn the dot or do you have to get rid of the dot?
He has to earn the dot.
Okay. I have to earn the dot. Okay, cool. So reach out to Karolyn.Briley on Instagram or Myron, no dot Briley on Instagram. Okay. And if you're a private money lender, you have deals. Today, this is what I love about you guys as SUBTO leaders in the community. New student joins and you decide, hey, I'm going to take a new student to a deal that I bought down in Houston, a SUBTO deal I bought in Houston. And I'm just going to drive him down, chat him up, show him what it feels like, smells like, tastes like to walk on one of these properties. I mean, doesn't it change your perception when you actually like step on a property of a deal you bought subject to for the first time? You're like, wait, so I was able to take somebody's mortgage over on this house? This really does exist. It's not fake. It changes everything, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. All real. The proof of concept for sure.
The other student that I took down has not done a deal. He is just
brand
starting.
New, right?
He started on Tuesday.
I'm disappointed he hasn't done a deal yet.
Well, we'll get him there. We'll get him there. But I said the same exact thing. Like, this house is brand new that we took over. You're going to see what it smells like. Like, that's something. It's a brand new house. It has that new house smell.
Yeah.
And it was his first Instagram live. It was his first YouTube live. And so I'm like, man, you got to if people don't know what you want and what you're doing, you'll be just consuming.
Yeah.
You're taking action.
Right.
So it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's interesting. Being in the proximity of somebody that's taking action makes you realize, oh, wow, I was just overthinking all of this. This is very, very simple. Even the other day, when we made a TikTok together and I was making you guys do all these transitions.
Yes.
It was way faster than you probably thought it was going to be.
Absolutely. It like broke a lock in my brain. I'm like, oh, this is so easy when I'm overthinking it.
Really?
Yeah,
Same.
absolutely. I was like, oh, this is all we do. We just do this and this.
You know what's funny is this is where I, as a good mentor, I realize I am a good mentor after having other mentors of my own and going, show me, dude. Wait, you don't even practice what you preach. You can't show me. It took me probably a good year to figure out that little flow that we came up with on the Instagram stuff. It took me a year to realize, okay, do this, then this, then this, then this, and then do this, and then It took me about a year, but you guys were able to learn it in 30 minutes.
Well, we had such a great teacher.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about you going on that ride along. It helps people get through that process so much faster.
Yeah.
The cool thing is we've got an amazing group of human beings in the studio with us.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for being the live audience. If you guys have questions, feel free to chime in. Carly, let's pop up any questions that we have in the side chat that people have about multifamily, single family, creative finance, whatever it is. Okay, here we go. Hugo, by the way, that's the first cologne I could ever afford was Hugo Boss. So shout out Hugo Boss. Where do we find those properties that have loans that are coming due or fully owned? What's the software? Okay, let's go around. Anybody that has an answer in the audience, or Karolyn and Myron right here, I want to buy a SUBTO deal. Where's a good list and where can I pull that? Give me one answer and we'll see if we can give 4 or 5 answers for this. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? I want to go buy a SUBTO deal tomorrow. Where do I go? What software do I use? Or do I not use software?
I do use software.
Okay, what do you use?
PropStream.
Okay.
I think also Batch.
But you go to PropStream.
I go to PropStream.
And you pull what list?
This is what I do.
Just one list. Don't give me all of them. Just one.
This is
one of them.
Well, I only do one list.
Okay.
It's on market, low equity.
On market, low equity. Write that down, Hugo. Write that down. One of our favorite lists on our team is expired listings. We love expired listings. We get a lot of seller finance and SUBTO deals out of that. Karolyn, does anything come to your mind? I know you guys are on the same team technically.
Yes. So we just have been
You're like, what he said.
Basically, I mean, or we work with our SUBTO community who that is not software at all.
I think some people call their strategy DTS, which is direct to seller, but the reality is you guys are DTS, direct to SUBTO students.
Direct to SUBTO for sure.
You're 100% of your guys' business right now is actually getting deals from other SUBTO students. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, love it.
Yes.
Alejandro, Don, anybody over here? Any other places that you guys like finding SUBTO deals? Realtors. Okay. Is there a specific type of realtor outreach that you like to do? Do you go real estate agents that have houses listed on the market over a certain amount of time? Yeah. 60 days plus. 60 days plus. So Alejandro Alvarez, guys, follow him on Instagram. He's an amazing leader as well. Don Rich, do you have any that comes to your top of your mind? 3-year tax delinquent. Ooh, tax delinquent. I like tax delinquent. Another one that I'm surprised that we all looked over, foreclosure. Foreclosure is a money maker for SUBTO. So if you guys are trying to buy SUBTO deals, go to the foreclosure list. Now, you can go to multiple places to get foreclosure list. The problem is a lot of people go, well, I don't have money. And if you don't have money, then go to your county records. How's Texas for foreclosure with like county records? You guys are public record. It's pretty good. It's pretty good? Yeah. Okay, because you guys are a non-disclosure state, which means if you don't have MLS access, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
We'll have MLS access as long as you build a relationship.
Okay, so Alejandro, you can see the back of him. He has the Creative Cash Flow hoodie on. He says, have a relationship with agents, and then you can get that list. I say, we use preforeclosuresdaily.com is who we use, and we get phenomenal foreclosure data. Foreclosures are huge. There's 600,000 houses behind on their payments right now across the country. So if people are behind on their payments, foreclosures is a great way to go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Marcellus. Oh my gosh. What a great reference right now.
Ooh.
Marcellus Wallace. Name that movie.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Great job, Karolyn. Are you kidding me? You guys remember this scene from Pulp Fiction? Holy shiznit. Alejandro's never seen Pulp Fiction. What does Marcellus Wallace look like? Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
No.
No, he doesn't. Sorry,
Definitely
that's sorry. That's you don't name yourself Marcellus Wallace unless you're referencing Pulp Fiction. So I love that. How did you score the deal in Corpus? What made you do a deal in Corpus? It's not the most metro area, but it's also not the middle of nowhere. So Marcellus Wallace, great reference to a great movie. Marcellus Wallace, Myron and Karolyn got that from a SUBTO student who had a relationship with the seller. So direct to SUBTO community. Again, just like they said,
yes.
Direct to SUBTO community. And the reason why we bought in Corpus is because Corpus is because the deal was phenomenal. 3% interest for 50 years. That's why. And then also it's a C-class property in an A area.
Definitely.
It's like every house next to it is $1 million home.
Yes, just going there this week and getting to see that like tangible and being boots like on the ground for the property. Myron visited a few months back when we acquired it in August, but seeing like all the beautiful properties around this multifamily and then having the ocean just 3 minutes down the road is amazing. It's going to do phenomenal.
And then also the other reason is because Mo, the seller, has another 20 unit, a 9 unit, another 9 unit, and something else I can't remember that he will sell to us on 3% interest, 50-year terms.
Yep,
exactly right.
So you get one deal from a seller, especially somebody who is a tired landlord, somebody who was managing the property himself, didn't want to have a property management company. Taking all this is what I learned. Okay, because I don't go to a lot of my properties anymore, but I learned this weekend how bad somebody like Mo or somebody like Mario, my seller in San Angelo, have been treating their properties. Here's what happens, okay? Tired landlords are amazing. And for those of you guys that are out there acquiring properties, but you're not utilizing property management, and then you don't hire an asset manager on your team, here's what's happening. People bring that cash flow in. Let's say I have 10 properties that are cash flowing $400 a month. It's like, okay, I got $4,000. Perfect. I'm now going to live on that $4,000. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Improve your life, do all the things. But at some point, you've got to take some of your cash flow and actually hire somebody to offload all the management and be on that full time. Okay. Mario and Mo, the seller, Mario's the seller of San Angelo, and Mo, the seller of Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
What they did is they had the properties paid off and they sucked out every single penny out of these properties and utilized it to live their lifestyle. And what happens is they've got 30 grand coming in on one property, 20 grand coming in on this one. And so they go, oh, I'm going to upgrade my personal expenses. I'm going to drive this car and then I'm going to live in this house and I'm going to travel here. Mo's house is a baller ass house.
You saw his house?
Oh, it's baller. Homeboy has his tenants living in absolute horrible conditions.
Mo money.
And they go, oh, you want to, we have a broken window? No problem. Let's get some clear tape and fix that broken window.
Yep.
Oh, they did that? That's nice.
Oh yeah.
They actually put tape on it?
It's clear though.
Well, they could see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
I didn't know there was tape. I thought
visible.
there was just broken.
Yeah. So he,
Scotch.
that's what happens with a lot of tired landlords is they get accustomed to the cash flow and they don't put a portion of it to the side for future management. And ultimately what happens is the sewer goes bad,
right?
All the ACs go bad, and all of these things go bad after 20, 30 years. And they go, okay, I'm done with this property. And that's how we got it with Mo. Mo realized, holy crap, I've been living high on the hog with all my cash flow. And now I got to freaking repair all this stuff. No, thanks. I'm going to sell this property.
Yep.
He was going to sell it cash until you came along and you guys gave him a cash offer.
Yeah.
And then this was when you guys were kind of in your beginning journey.
Yeah.
You came to me and we had a conversation about buying it creatively, and you guys did a great job structuring that deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He did a badass job with it.
Okay, Joel Jurgard, one of the most analytical people on the planet who I love.
We love Joel.
Joel says, so how did the deal with Mario go? What class of property was it? Was it owner managed? What were the benefits you offered him with seller finance? Okay, so my deal in San Angelo, it's 43 units. Mario got to a point, same thing, 40. He's owned the property for 20 years and he has not replaced. The property's 40 years old. He's owned it for 20. Mm-hmm. So when he bought it, he had original cabinets, original, everything was still in the property, original ACs, hot water heaters, all that stuff. He did the same thing still. And after 40 years, never replaced a single window. He just taped the windows. Okay. Everything's starting to fall apart. Water damage, no problem. We're not going to scrape the water damage out. We'll just throw paint on top of it.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of that goes on for enough time. And so Mario got to a point where there was so many repairs going on about a year and a half ago. It was all kind of compounding on him that he decided, I'm going to go to the property and I'm going to fire my handyman because he's going too slow and he's charging me too much money, that I'm going to go to the property every weekend and skip out on spending time with my son, who's 12 years old at the time. So the bunnies that we found with Mario is that his son, when I got into the conversation was, well, Mario, what's going on? Like, why do you want to sell this house? He goes, well, I want to sell it. Okay. Why? Well, I want to retire. Why? Well, because I want to spend some more time with my son. Stupid question, but I asked why. He says, well, because for his last birthday, he asked, can I just get more time with my dad for my birthday? Because his dad was spending all this time at the property, screwing around with replacing toilets, screwing around with replacing and putting compound or like putty on the cabinets rather than replacing them.
Right.
And it got so bad that when I went and met with Mario, he gave me 19 reasons why he wanted to sell to me on seller finance. And none of those were the main reason why he was trying to sell the house. Remember, there's reasons and then there's bunnies.
Right.
Okay. Reasons are, I want a high price. I want to retire. Those are all reasons. But the bunnies were, my son asked me for his birthday for me to actually spend time with him. And when I dug deeper with Mario, I said, wow, I can't believe that you must have, felt a certain way about that. He goes, I felt so bad about it because my wife told me that he constantly says, why does my dad love his tenants more than he loves me?
Oh,
that's tough.
That's bunnies.
That's
right?
bunnies.
That's where you find the bunnies, the emotional reason why somebody's willing to sell. And so the terms I offered him, same purchase price, 43 units, $3 million. I gave him no money down. And we actually did a dating contract on that deal. So he had a tax thing that he wanted to avoid in 2022. So I did a dating contract, which I don't talk about dating contracts that much, but essentially it's a dating contract saying, hey, we're going to do an executory contract right now. We're going to convert it to a seller finance deal where the deed comes in my name after January 1st of 2023. So now I am the owner, but for the last 7 months, I was not the actual owner on record. I was just dating Mario until the new year came around. So now I'm the owner of record. I'm on deed. And that's why I ended up going to the property, because we're thinking about switching out management and doing all that kind of stuff.
So he had management in place?
He has a manager on site. So the reason why I bought that property is because I'm also going to buy the 40 units next door. It's the same compound.
Yeah.
And it was built at the same time, same builder, but somehow, some way, the parcels got divided. So you got 40 units here and 43 units here.
Okay.
So I go, Mario, I want to buy this 43 unit. And he goes, I can help you buy the other 40 units as well to make this really worth your while. So I bought Mario's for $3 million, 43 units, seller finance, 3%, 50-year terms. And I'm buying the property next door, 40 units, for $2 million, subject to, I'm taking over their loan, and I'm giving them $100,000 now and $100,000 a year for the next 5 years for them to walk away.
Amazing.
Did you know that I used that deal? I
Deal.
told Mo that I closed that deal.
Great job.
We use that as third party story. Yes.
So
sure.
I'm sitting at dinner the other night. Sorry, I'm talking so much. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
No, man. This is your show.
So I'm at dinner the other night, and no, okay, my boys aren't here. Zach and Chris have been traveling around with me in Louisiana, and I'm in Louisiana, and I tell the bunny story, and I tell the F-150 story. And I'm in front of like 100 people at a real estate conference. And this lady then goes after the conference, the VIP dinner, you know, there's like all that kind of stuff. She comes up to me, she goes, I can't believe you stole that F-150 story. And I'm like, what? That's my story. What are you talking about? She's like, there was another person that told the story about the F-150 story.
Yes.
And I was like, tell me their name. Told me their name. They're my student. I tell them to take my stories, but they shouldn't be saying F-150. They should be saying like my Mazda Miata or my this or my that, or Alejandro should be saying my Mercedes, whatever. But I love when you guys take the stories. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Use my credibility, use my deals, tell the stories, use the addresses, do all that kind of stuff. And it helped.
Yeah,
Totally.
because Mo wanted 7% interest.
F that.
Exactly. So I
That's what
go,
we said.
we just closed one in San Marcos.
San
Blah,
Marcos.
blah, blah. Whatever.
San Marcos. Yeah.
I don't even remember what I said, but it's like 200 something units, and they gave us 3% interest. Mo, how can I get you the 3% interest? And he went from 2.6 million up to 3,
Yeah.
which he was at 3 million cash anyway. So he just went back up to 3, and we got it. We got the deal.
50 years. Mm-hmm.
Don Rich and Alejandro Alvarez, how many times do you guys get deals because of third-party stories that you tell a seller?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Not even a stutter.
My lead managers hasn't improved their conversion because of third-party.
Third-party stories all the time. And
Love it.
I would say use other people's stories, extract things from books, whatever it is. It's interesting that a seller they'll go, oh, that's what other sellers are doing? Cool. I'll do that too.
Mhm.
Exactly.
They'll go from 7% to 3% because you closed some 200 unit deal in San Marcos.
They got FOMO.
Great job, bro.
Mhm.
Great job.
It wasn't a lie. It was like,
It's not
I
a
just
lie.
showed
You're
him-
using you're using
No.
my credibility.
Yeah.
We're partners.
You're a partner
it's just
anyway.
what's
so
possible. Exactly what
Yeah.
you said.
Great job.
love
dude.
it.
Loved it.
Let's do it again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Elena Tang, we love you.
I love
SUBTO
Elena.
students, we love everybody. Hopefully you guys all know Karolyn and Myron. By the way, Carly, if you don't mind, give us some more questions, but also I would love to see, this is great. How do you combat the head in the sand mindset with people with pre-foreclosure? Okay, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because I could talk about this for 45 minutes.
How do you combat the head in the sand mindset?
I mean, you guys aren't really direct to seller. You guys are direct to SUBTO students. So you're probably not dealing with this too often.
We
We've
deal with
done this-
pre-foreclosures with direct to agent sometimes.
Okay.
And in the very beginning stages of us in business, we hit a lot of pre-foreclosures. So I did a lot of door knocking, and it's very visible, the head in the sand mentality. And it's basically like, there's that time, a period of like, oh, I'm okay. And then, they have their head in the sand, and then it comes down to crunch time where they have to make a decision, or it just goes to foreclosure. But observing them and understanding, just like, I can lay out all the options for you, but it's not my choice, or I don't have control of that for you. Like, I'm here to help present options and strategies for you to come out the other side of this.
Right.
And like walk you through it, or guide you, help you. But in the end, it's up to them to make the decision of.
Right. So my experience, I have a ton of experience in, will you do me a favor, Alejandro? This pink light on my right, turn that light off. And then the pink light over there, let's turn that off right there. I feel like I'm sunburned. There we go. Boom, boom, boom.
We're in Miami.
I felt like I was in Miami. It was lit. Yeah, unplug it at the bottom.
Thank
So
you.
okay, so here's my experience in foreclosures.
Wow. Mood lighting?
That
I was
is so much
looking
better.
at myself going, damn, I'm sunburned.
I thought you like sex appeal.
I
It's
do like
like
sex
my
appeal.
lips are pink. Anyway,
So
you're good. Thank you.
there's a phase of foreclosure. So pay attention to this. With foreclosures, they will inevitably keep their head in the sand regardless of what you do and you say. So 2 really quick stories. Number 1, property in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a student that ended up selling me a deal. His name is Jamaris. Okay. You guys probably know Jamaris, right?
Mhm.
He calls me up. Hey, so I've got a deal. I'm newer. I'm out I'm knocking foreclosures. I've got a deal. I don't know how to do SUBTO yet. I'm too new. Can you get on the phone with the seller? I get on the phone with the seller. I walk her through. I ask her the question. She's in foreclosure. She's about to lose her house in 2 days. And my reality, here's the answer. They don't take their head out of the sand until like a week before they're getting foreclosed on.
Mhm.
Okay. First and foremost. Okay. It's 30% of people are so deathly afraid of it. They make a decision in the very first week of being in foreclosure. And then like 90% of people turn into, not 90%, 70% of people go all the way until a week before they lose their house.
Yep.
Okay. So the majority of people are going to wait until they're about to lose their house. Just understand that you're not going to overcome that without this little tidbit of story. 2 of them. So Jamaris seller, I get on the phone with her. Not Mercedes. Does anybody remember her name? You guys won't remember her name. But
Not
anyway. Not Mercedes. I'm still dealing with that. So with her, I get on the phone with her and I said, okay, tell me why. Like Jamaris doesn't know the answers to SUBTO. She's a real estate agent, losing her house. She's selling the house to me SUBTO. And I go, wow, you probably had 20 or 30 other people reach out to you. She goes, I did for the first 3 weeks of my foreclosure. And then they all tapered off. And the only person that even followed up with me every week was Jamaris.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I honestly had no other person to choose other than Jamaris. He was the only one standing there. So regardless of what he knew, what he could say, what he didn't know, didn't bother me. He said he had a solution for me. And that's why I'm on the phone with you.
Amazing.
Okay.
I like it.
So I do this seller call, by the way, private inside of the SUBTO community. And one of our students, so I asked her, so you're not under contract with anybody else? No, I'm not. Well, I was about to sign a contract, but he stopped following up with me. And I go, what's his name? Do you remember this call?
Yes.
Okay. One of our students, James, didn't show up to the appointment. It was the 4th week she was in foreclosure. He didn't show up to the appointment. And he goes, she's not ready. She's blah, 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 blah. Never followed up with her ever again. She remembered his name. And she said, he said he was going to drive up in a white van. He never showed up. He's like, you can expect me. I'll be there in a white van. He never shows up to the house. Never follows up with her. Da, 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 da. A week later, after the seller call, he sees it in the Zoom vault and he goes, holy crap. I could have been the one that made the $15,000 assignment fee on that deal if I just stayed on top of it and I followed up. Okay. So foreclosures are people that you got to follow up with every single week. How do I know this? Today, I'm in Dallas. I buy a SUBTO deal from Christian Hernandez.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to end up wrapping that deal here. And I pay the seller $260 today to give me a testimonial. I do that all the time. Because sellers are like, I don't want to be on camera. You have 150,000 people on your YouTube channel. I don't want to be on your YouTube channel. I'm like, how about $250? And they go, sure.
Sold.
Okay, cool. That's the difference between a yes and a no. No problem. So I go to the ATM, get $300 out today. I give the guy $260. His name is Tomas. And I said, Tomas, why did you choose to go with Christian Hernandez? I bet you were getting hit up. And he goes, I wanted to throw my phone out the window. I had so many people calling me, 50, 60 people. And I said, so why did you end up talking to Christian? He says, because he's the only person that kept calling after week 4.
Mm-hmm. Send the follow-up.
And I said, when you first talked to Christian, what did you say? And he says, this is a scam. Don't call me back. F you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you said all of that? And he goes, yep. I thought it was a scam. I thought all this stuff was going on. And I said, why did you continue to pick up the phone? And he said, because Christian made me feel like he was my friend. This, guys, this testimonial is so good. This is all in Spanish, by the way. I had to get a translator. And he's saying, he was trying to speak in broken English because he didn't want to be embarrassed. He didn't speak English, but he ended up, when he got emotional and he started crying about this, He said everything was falling on me all around my world. My girlfriend situation, my parents, somebody died in my family. I had to go to Mexico to bury them. Had all these things going on. The only person that was consistent and reliable in my life was Christian Hernandez.
That's amazing.
That is how you handle foreclosures.
Mhm.
And if you've never been in foreclosure, you will continue to ask that question because you don't know what these people are going through. But I promise you, that is what they're going through. They are going through turmoil, tragedy, questioning themselves. They're going through doubt. They're going through suicidal thoughts. You guys just got to remind yourself, okay? So you have to remind yourself these people are going through a lot of stuff, and this is where the opportunity is. It's like Subway doesn't sell a sandwich until somebody's hungry, okay? There's a need. There's a desire. These people have a need. They're going through something horrible, and you need to be a friend to them. And instead of thinking, how do I overcome their mindset? You don't overcome their mindset. You be the one person that's consistent and reliable in their life, and you will be the person standing there at the end of the transaction saying, thank you for calling me and trusting me. Even though it's only 2 days before the foreclosure, I'm happy to extend the foreclosure. Anybody in here has ever had to extend a foreclosure? Raise your hand.
Yep.
Okay. The studio audience, raise your hand for everybody. Okay. And is it always the week of?
Yeah.
The day of? Sometimes 3-4 hours before? Okay. That is the crap that these people are going through. So you don't overcome their mindset. You overcome your mindset of, why can't these people get it through their thick skull that I'm trying to help them? That's not. Final story on foreclosures. Do you guys care if we go a little long?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We're here.
Final story on foreclosure. When Matt Beard was in my wholesale business, we had a phenomenal door knocking team. And we did 18 SUBTO deals in October, 19 in November, and 17 in December. This is back in like 2018, like 5 years ago. And it was like, we were just knocking out SUBTO deals like crazy, foreclosure and just knocking doors. I get a call from Matt Beard, and he said, because this is before Matt really learned how to close, right? So he would call me and go, hey, I need you to over at this appointment. I've got an appointment. This guy's about to lose his house in 3 days, and I need you over here to explain subject to it. I go, okay, no problem. I'll be there. I get there in 30 minutes. I walk in, I meet the seller, and his name's Graham. And Graham listens to me in SUBTO, and that we can help him. We can extend the foreclosure. We can keep him in the house for 30 days while we work on, the paperwork and buying the house SUBTO. He turns to me and he says, where were you 30 days ago? Where were you 30 days ago when I really needed your help and I was going through all this turmoil? Where were you? And I said, Graham, I met you 30 days ago. I was here 30 days ago. He goes, no, you weren't. And I go, yeah, I was. I was the guy that was wearing cargo shorts, and you teased me about my cargo shorts. And you said, there's no way you're a serious real estate investor because people that make money don't wear cargo shorts.
I would tease you about the cargo shorts too.
But he goes, oh my gosh, that was you. That was you. And I go, yeah, Graham. He goes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I said, Graham, you weren't ready at the time. I take zero offense to this, but I want to show you that I'm here just like I was 30 days ago. You weren't ready to listen to me then.
Yeah.
You didn't even remember my face. I've talked to you for the last 45 minutes about all these real estate strategies. You don't even remember the way I talk, what I look like. The only thing that triggered your memory was cargo shorts. And he's like, wow. And I go, all that tells me is that you've been going through a lot. And we're here for you.
For sure.
Let's solve this problem for you. So when you guys continually ask me these questions about foreclosure, about how to overcome foreclosure, you don't overcome people's mindset with foreclosure. Okay. You overcome your mindset with foreclosure, and you need to be ultra patient with people going through foreclosure and be the person that stays in the game the longest. Every story you hear about foreclosure is always somebody solving the foreclosure 15 minutes before the house is lost.
Yep.
Cool.
Love it.
Okay. Sorry. Did anybody learn anything in here? Okay.
Always.
Don Rich and Alejandro should not be raising your hands at all. They're like, we deal with this shit all the time. Okay. Great question. Francesca Basu. How difficult is it transitioning from single family to multifamily? What do you guys have for me here?
Transitioning? it's a little bit of a mindset thing, because you think, oh, the $300,000 is becoming 3 million or 30 million or whatever. You're adding a zero, but there's a lot of different stuff to learn with multifamily.
It's a totally different animal.
Totally different.
Yes.
All these crazy acronyms that they made up or whatever, right? But for us specifically, it's actually not transitioning, but adding to.
Yes.
So we are still doing single family and we're adding multifamily to our portfolio.
Yes.
But it is a lot of learning. And I think the biggest thing for us is don't do it alone. Find a team to do multifamily with, because there's a lot to it.
A lot of moving parts. I agree with what you have to say.
Give me a handful of moving parts, because that's ambiguous to somebody that's brand new. So like talking to yourself a year ago, right? You guys have really picked up momentum just in the last 10 months or so. So speaking to yourself 11 months ago, if you said there's a lot of moving parts, would you know what that meant 11 months ago?
No.
Give me
scratching the surface.
Give me 3 moving parts that you're talking about.
Raising capital is one of the most major aspects of multifamily. Single family as well, but multifamily you have to know.
Yeah, like single family is like, hey, I need 20 grand.
It gets you in the game.
It gets you in the game, but like when you're doing multifamily, it's like, I need $1 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I might need another $1 million in 6 months.
Yes. So raising
I think he's
capital.
talking about our deal.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm talking about a lot of deals I've touched in multifamily. So
yeah.
So raising capital is one of the big moving parts. What's another big
underwriting?
Underwriting.
So underwriting in multifamily is not what you're referencing specifically. Is that people? Here's how I look at comping and underwriting. Comping to me is single family. I don't comp multifamily.
No.
I underwrite multifamily.
Correct. Yeah. It's a business.
It's a business. There you go. Multifamily. That's it. It's like, who's the person managing the property, collecting the rent, depositing the rent. Like my property in San Angelo specifically is that Christy, the property manager, she's been there 7 years. That's part of the underwriting process.
Yep.
What does she know about the property? Does she understand how long has my handyman been there? Who's the one causing the problems in the business, right? And who's collecting the rent? Oh, well, Christy is. Okay. Why is it that the T12 acronym that these people made up, all these multifamily people that don't want us to be in the game, how do we keep Myron and Karolyn at a multifamily?
You can't.
Great answer. Oh, you can't. We're going to trip them up with all these acronyms, T12 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, why is my T12 messed up? Why is it that my income is double this month and half of what it was last month?
Right.
Oh, well, because Christy decides to hold on to the deposits of all the tenants until it makes sense for her to go down to the bank. And she deposits 2 months of rent checks to the point where the tenants thought the check had already cleared. Oof. And they go, damn, I got an extra $700 in my bank account. So when she goes to deposit both of the checks the next month, those checks bounce.
That sucks.
That is part of underwriting multifamily. Why is the T12 screwed up? And getting a magnifying glass to go, there is something not functioning in this business.
Yes.
So that's what you're talking about with underwriting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like the whole T12, the trailing 12.
The trailing 12.
The trailing 12 months.
Yeah.
It tells a story. You have to figure out the story.
Something else I learned, I'll keep it short. When you get a rent roll.
Don't keep it short, bro. This ain't no stupid ass podcast. This is a cool ass podcast. You talk as long as you want.
You get a rent roll and it's month to month. So there are no leases in place. All the rents are month to month. Those, should I say it?
Go for it.
Those could be a lie. Those rents could be just whatever they made up in order to have a better NOI or a better. Yeah. So
how would that benefit me if I'm selling the property to Myron as a landlord who's going to sell to you? I would want to package up my rent roll and go, these people are just month to month. Don't worry about their really low rent rate. You can replace them at any point because they're on month to month. That's what you're talking about.
Right. So there's no lease in place, and we could say the rent is $1,000, but it's actually less. People send out crappy
BS.
financials. I mean, the one we got was on the back of an envelope in pencil. And so he's like,
sophisticated.
yeah, like I'm not actually going to give you correct numbers because I want this value to hold true. I want my $3 million bucks or whatever. So it's a lot of due diligence. It's a lot of visiting and talking to the property manager. How do you market for tenants? Asking all the questions. What do you charge for pet rent? You know, learning how can I take this thing that's worth 3 million and make it worth 6 million?
Right.
How am I going to add more income to this business? And how am I going to every time I make $1 or save $1, I'm adding value on my sale. Because that's the goal, right? Let's sell in 5 years.
We have the
Let's sell
exit in
10
mind when
years.
we acquire. Yes.
If you're going to raise money, the people that you're raising money from, they want to know the life of their money. They want to know, what is their $500,000 going to do? When am I going to get it back? Money loves speed, right? They want to know, how fast am I going to get this return?
Yeah. So I can redeploy it into another deal and amplify and magnify and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, transitioning. Oh, thank you. Thank you,
What?
Mr. Ryan.
Oh.
Mr. Ryan Harper Belmont on Instagram. You guys should follow him on there. And if you guys need help with your media, he's the man to do it. Okay. So great question on the screen, but just to tie that up, how do I transition from single family to multifamily? Your answer is we don't. We just added it as an additional thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, to keep it semi-short, everyone has to assess their own situation when they're looking at single family, multifamily, like what are they doing? For us, this is our full-time, like we don't have W-2s. We're investors full-time. So we have to have an active income coming in to support, put a roof over our heads, pay our bills, and create money to then invest in our future multifamily deals as well. So they both go hand in hand for us.
Yeah. And I think I was having dinner with Alejandro and Josh Duke and Don Rich and DFW over here.
DFW.
Don
I love it.
Don
Walker.
freaking Walker.
Oh
Texas
my God.
Ranger.
So good.
And we were having a conversation about, people say, well, should I start in single family or multifamily? And my argument is that this is a great analogy. You guys ever read Atomic Habits?
I haven't read it. No.
Okay. So there's this story in there, okay, about a photography class. And the professor goes to his students and he says, I'm going to split the class up into two groups, the quantity group and the quality group. Okay. Quantity group and the quality group. You guys are going to be judged on the quantity of photos that you take this semester. And you guys are going to be judged on the quality of the photos that you take this semester. So at the end of the year, the quantity people get straight A's. They do a great job. Tons of quantity, tons of quantity, tons of quantity. The people with the quality photos, surprisingly, did not get straight A's. When they compared the quality group and the quantity group and figured out who actually had the better photo, The quantity people had a higher quality photo. Why is that?
Because they took more photos.
They took more photos, more practice, more mistakes. They learned the mechanics. They went through they were in the dark room, printing out film and messing with things. And they saw, oh, I don't like that I did that. I don't like that I did that a lot more often. So the reason I bring that up is because I believe people that start in single family do more multifamily than people who start in multifamily do multifamily.
Yeah. Because
the single family people gain the traction, the credibility, the exposure, the mistakes, the credibility, the resources and the relationship that you need to compound your growth in multifamily.
Yep.
And people will ask me, man, why you just took off in multifamily? I'm like, because it was like a rubber band on the single family stuff. I was pulling, and then I launched once I got into multifamily.
Right.
It made everything easier. And so people that look at multifamily as this sexy, amazing object, I really like what you just said, is that you have to assess your own individual situation. Multifamily, by the way, that 30 unit that we own together, have you guys gotten a paycheck on that yet?
Nope.
We have not.
Have I gotten a paycheck?
Nope.
Okay. We will both make millions of dollars on that asset over the lifespan of that project. But what you'll get this year is that we'll do a cost segregation. You guys will get a loss on your K1 this year, which will be really great. You'll save some money on taxes, but you won't get a paycheck until probably end of this year. Right. And so that's the thing that people lose sight of on multifamily as well, is that you have to assess your individual situation. Do you need to pay your bills next month?
Yep.
You got babies, right?
We need to pay bills
Diapers.
tomorrow.
Right. You still have diapers?
Here and there.
Maybe
pull-ups.
Myron every once in a while.
Night diapers.
Okay. Night diapers. Okay. Got 90s. Love it. So you still have things to pay for. So you look at a multifamily as, I'm going to buy these things that I don't have to worry about. Essentially, it's kind of like retirement and compounding your wealth, but your single family stuff is what's actually paying your month-to-month bills, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Wholesaling, fixing and flipping, creating wraps.
Mhm.
I know Alejandro is going to help you guys on a couple of your wraps, because you
Yes.
guys have like stacked up a bunch of properties you're sitting on that you guys got to go out and wrap.
Yeah, we just had 2
need
back-to-back
3.
signings the other day.
Isn't that great to be part of a community with people like Alejandro Alvarez?
Absolutely. We love it.
Absolutely.
My
We're
gosh,
very
dude.
grateful.
My gosh. Okay. So there's the single family, multifamily. Hi, Vina.
Vina.
Hi,
Vina
Vina.
Jetty, love you.
Love you.
This is great. Edith Medina. Actually, can we go back, Carly, to the question about their roles and the role playing that they do with each other? I mean, how they divide each other's roles.
Okay.
Sorry,
I was like, this
I
is a whole nother
misspoke.
podcast.
I misspoke. I'll jump into that. I don't know who asked the question, but the question was, how do you guys internally decide who does what? And I want you to give me a 30-second answer of today. What do you guys now do? But then I also want to hear a couple of the fights that have happened about who was stepping on
Ooh.
whose toes, and how you had to go through some bullshit where it's like, you're in my territory. I want to hear all that. Let's hear it. Where are we now?
Really quick.
And what's the bullshit you had to go through?
Yep. Really quick. I'm mainly doing single family agent outreach. We have 6 other SUBTO students calling for us, and a couple other non-students doing outreach as well.
From the Elephant Challenge.
From the Elephant Challenge, exactly
Yes.
right. Elephant Challenge has actually changed our life. Thank you so much. And they just bring us single family SUBTO deals, low equity deals. As far as stepping on toes, full disclosure, this is what I do. Karolyn, please help. And sometimes things get missed.
Yeah.
I also miss things, but sometimes things get missed or
Like
delayed.
what? Give me something. Like, you didn't underwrite it properly. There's no the contract didn't get signed because there's only one signature. Like,
It's okay, contract stuff sometimes like I'll be going through my email and he's like, oh, you gotta sign that contract. Okay, shit, I missed it.
like 12 hours later.
Okay. What else? This is fun. I'd say it's more not so he's more
ruining my
integrator.
night.
He's integrator stuff. So underwriting and everything, he's got that on lockdown. I fully trust him with that. When he hands off stuff to me, it's a lot of like the things that he has all the full context of, and I don't have the context. He's like, I've done 99% of this, and here's this. And I'm like, okay, now I got to go figure out all this stuff that you did to finish the puzzle.
Right.
So like, okay, I can set up utilities. I can do all the little like admin stuff because I'm more the multifamily.
Right.
I'm working stuff off the Elephant Challenge and doing multifamily stuff, but I'm also doing like calls here and there, whatever I need to fill in the gaps. And I'm also running after 2 kids.
Yeah, I was
too.
just gonna say that.
I was going to
that-
also say that
for a lot of
with love.
I want to give you kudos for that just for a second. So I'm at dinner the other night, and this lady comes up to me and she says, I just want to let you know that I have been waiting for 15 years for my children to turn 18 and leave the nest to finally focus on my real estate business. And after watching your wife breastfeed on this thing, and after watching Karolyn on the Elephant Challenge, it made me.
wow.
She said that.
Oh yeah,
That makes me want to cry.
people see you on the Elephant Challenge.
That's sweet.
She said
Thank you.
it inspired me to not wait any longer.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to let you know, people watch.
Okay.
They notice those
What's
things.
her name? I need to give her a hug.
I'll find out.
Okay.
It was a dinner that I stopped by, and it wasn't my dinner. It was a dinner somebody asked me to come into and like say hi and take photos with people.
That's amazing.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
somebody from the Elephant Challenge, a non-student that noticed you and was like just watching you from the last one that we did. By the way, guys, if you are not aware of this, the Elephant Challenge starts back up this coming week. I have Bo, our multifamily underwriter, coming in and teaching
He's
more
awesome.
underwriting and doing a lot of fun things. So did you guys ever fight about your roles?
Absolutely. We still go through.
Like, what does that look like? Who's the more angry one of you two?
Me?
She's definitely
Like, who's the one that drops
more
the cuss
angry.
words like first?
Me.
Definitely her.
Okay, definitely her.
He's like cool, calm, and collect. We very much balance each other out, but I'm like fiery, spicy, like.
And he's the cool, calming water.
I have to
Exactly.
be like, don't F with this man because I will come for you.
Oh,
Right. And he's like, whoa, 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 just chill. I'm like, anyway.
So
I love him.
where were times where you stepped? Did you ever step on his toes in any of his responsibilities in the business?
Yeah.
And
for
what?
sure.
Give me find one in your brain. Go back in time. I want to hear about a fight.
Silly, stupid crap. Like, did you pull that list? Did you pull that list that I need for this person? Or like,
and it would turn into a fight.
and it would be like, why? Like, let me do my shit. Like,
Yeah.
let me do my thing. Or
Isn't that funny about like how when you're married, like you could take advice, you could take criticism from like anybody else.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
if you hear it from the person you love the most, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna freaking strangle you.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's like, hey, I need you to make these calls, and it's like,
Excuse
you
me.
do. Like, I know how to make calls. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me what to do. But
I
it's
wish
like-
I was there as like a fly on the wall when this was happening.
I think it's a normal thing for
Oh,
couples.
Laura and I
especially-
do this.
Yeah.
All the
It's
time.
like you have this pre-existing marriage relationship emotions, and then you have a new layer. Like, we started, both of us, from scratch. Real estate dumped on us.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial, like pay for your bills. You don't have a job anymore.
Yep.
And it's like,
You got laid off, right?
No, I
we
quit.
Oh, you quit. What were you doing? I remember this. Our history is an interesting history. Well, you guys won an Instagram giveaway that I did where I was like, come spend the day with me driving around Arizona.
Yep.
And we got to have a great, that was a year and 3 months ago, I think, something like that. November of 2021.
No, it was August of 2021.
Oh, wow. Was that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy moly. Life goes
August-
by fast.
August.
Yeah, dude.
You definitely had diapers.
No,
back then.
September.
Yeah.
September. Sorry.
Okay. So, how is it working for, okay. What's been most surprising thing about multifamily for you guys? Ooh, Vina Jetty asked the question.
Oof.
Surprising.
Here, I'll let me say a couple things and you guys
Okay,
spark
thanks.
some ideas for you guys. Looking at multifamily, I remember as a contractor, I would go do repairs on other people's multifamily properties. And I thought the biggest challenge was the property itself. Like the property looks daunting, physically daunting. Oh my gosh. But then you realize the most daunting thing is the thing you don't see, which is, I tell people all the time, multifamily is not about real estate. Multifamily is about raising capital and understanding Reg D, Reg A, Reg CF,
Yeah.
securities violations, all of these types of things, which is like 80-90% of what you actually deal with before you own the property. That was the most surprising thing for me because most of the multifamily I owned was 30 unit here, 15 unit here, all creative finance that I didn't have to raise capital and worry about securities violations. Then when you get into multifamily, it's like, okay, make sure your securities attorney is your best friend. And like the other night, I went to Nobu with Vina Jetty. It was one of the most, that weekend at this mastermind, wasn't this last mastermind one of the most magical weeks of your
It
life?
really was. It was incredible. It was like life-changing again.
For me too.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. So I went to dinner. Then after everybody had gone home, I had Vina Jetty, Brad from A&E. By the way, Brad from A&E says to me the other day, he says, Vina Jetty was made for TV. He's like, I want to figure out how do we get Vina on your TV show for an episode and see if we can figure out how to do a spinoff with just Vina Jetty.
Oh, that is going to be so dope.
I haven't told her that yet, but I'll tell you, I'll tell you about it tomorrow, Vina, when I see you. So that was a big thing that was surprising to me when I got into it like really deep. I was like, wow, okay. So building a brand is very, very important, not only for getting deals, but when you want to go out and raise capital. Like when I bring you guys up and I put you on my stage, your ability to raise capital is amplified.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Right. So brand was super important. And I didn't realize how important it was to multifamily, because single family, you can go out and crush single family without having a brand. In multifamily, when you want to go raise 10 million, 15 million, $20 million, you're competing with people that have brands. The Brandon Turners, the Tim Brotts of the world, Vina Jetties of the world, Brad Sumrocks of the world, Grant Cardones of the world. They have brands that people recognize. And when they go to, throw out an offering and say, hey, we've got a deal that we're working on, that's who you're competing against.
I talked to a guy a couple of days ago. He said, I invested in Grant's thing. I'm like, well, what's the return? He's like, I don't even know. Well, how much are you, like, what do you think you're going to make? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, so he invested with Grant just because of his name. That was it.
All day long.
Mm-hmm.
All day long. I just invested 150 grand in a company called Gravy Stack as an angel investor. And I'm obsessed with what they're doing. Go look it up. If anybody wants their kids to have a bank account and financial education, Gravy Stack is unbelievable. Oh, cool. But people are like, why did you invest in that? I go, I didn't invest in the company. I invested in the jockey, not the horse. Same thing with Dan Fleischman. Yes. He has a new company and I cut $100,000 check for that. And I was like, they go, man, you don't even drink coffee. I go, yeah, but I believe in Dan Fleischman. Right. And his brand, and he has the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. So brand. So raising capital, how important it was, and how important brand is to raising capital were probably the two most surprising things in multifamily for me. What about you guys?
I'd say pretty on par with what you said, just the intricacies of making sure your shit is straight when you're setting up, structuring a deal, making sure your investors are taken care of. Just you do put them at the top level, the top tier, to make sure they're taken care of. So you want to make sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. And probably another thing for me was just like the layout of everything, the GP structure.
Yeah.
The GP structure of everything and how that moves around so much throughout the whole process of the transaction.
Yeah.
Because the GP structure that we just went through on a 40 unit, like that changed from the day one to closing day. Like there was,
based on your ability to raise capital, based on timelines, based on partners, their involvements, emotions.
Oh yeah.
What people are trying to accomplish. There's so much more jockeying going on
for sure
in a multifamily deal than a single family deal. Single family is like, it's cookie cutter.
Yep.
It's very simple. What about you, Myron? Do you got anything surprising?
It was,
say all the acronyms that all these multifamily people make up.
It was the acronyms for sure. Like what? Vina at we had the pleasure of, you had Vina present at the mastermind and she said stuff I never even heard of. But what I thought was cool was raising money and making your own fund.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was using your own fund to help other operators.
Oh, the fund to funds.
Fund to funds.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
I tell people all the time, if you want to get started in real estate, or you want to get started in multifamily, go fund to fund strategy first. The problem with fund to fund structure goes back to what I was saying, which is brand and raising capital, right? So do you guys, anybody in here not know what fund to fund is? Raise your hand, be honest. Okay, only a couple of people. So fund to fund for anybody in the audience, just quickly, is like, I've got a 587 unit deal that we're closing in Houston here in the next couple of weeks. $100 million deal.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I will own a significant portion of that deal, which is massive. Like most of the time, if you're a GP on a deal, you're like 10%, 20% of the deal. This will be a deal that I probably will end up being owner of close to 60% of the total deal. Wow. Which is it's a big deal.
That's incredible.
Seller finance involved. It's just an unbelievable, great structure of a deal. But
mic drop. That is baller.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so this deal, you go look at that, and if I was going to raise $10 million for that deal, somebody else comes to me and says, well, how do I get involved in that deal? Well, you can't raise $10 million, but you could raise maybe $500,000 or $1 million. And so why don't you go bring $1 million to the table? That way I only have to raise 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you go create a fund, and your fund's business is investing in other people's funds, which is a fund to funds. So you don't have to find the deal, structure the deal, operate the deal, manage the deal. And none of that stuff has to come from your side. And you get a slice of the actual deal, which is nice by raising the capital. So fund to funds is a really great way to get into multifamily. And also, last thing we'll say about this, I think it's funny. Multifamily people, this was a very surprising thing for me. Multifamily people are very posh. Okay. They think they're so smart and so fancy. So like when you go to like a wholesale seminar, people are wearing like backwards hats. Okay. Jeans are appropriate.
Close up.
Yeah. Jeans are appropriate.
Button up on.
In a wholesale seminar, jeans are appropriate. A hoodie is appropriate. A multifamily seminar, it's like, if you're not wearing a suit or a sport jacket, it's like, people are like, oh, how did you get in here?
Right.
Right.
You just got the free tickets.
Yep. Somebody gave you. Yeah. This is not what you wear to a multifamily seminar.
You just put a multifamily on top of that.
Yeah, there you go. So that was an interesting thing. The demographic of people in multifamily is very, very different, and a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more rude, rough around the edges, a little bit more posh and arrogant. And I look at the multifamily world as somebody who came from the single family world, trying to get into that multifamily world. And I feel lucky that I use creative finance to penetrate the multifamily world, because I was able to bypass all those assholes. And now I own more units than most of them. But a lot of these guys tried to block me from being in their world, because they're like, oh, no, you're a single family guy. Why don't you stay over there? And it's a very much a boys club in multifamily. It's a very tight knit little, like, and they all, sorry for anybody that's in multifamily listening to this, but there's a lot of backstabbing in the multifamily community. Jealousy, envy, greed, all sorts of stuff. Oh, he shouldn't have bought that deal. And there's so little transactions happening in multifamily compared to single family, that multifamily people actually track what other multifamily people are doing. They know. In single family, dude, there's so many transactions going on. There's no possible way that any single family investor has the time and energy to worry about what another single family investor is doing.
I heard an interview with Grant Cardone, that he tracks when he buys a complex or an asset, he tracks who else bid on it.
So he can sell it to them. So
he can go back when he's done, when he's whatever, he's like, hey, he has his buyers. He already has his buyers lined up. Yeah. So even lining up who else bid on the deal.
It's a lot less operators. And it's a little country club. And so once you get to welcome to the country club, by the way, 70 doors in the last 12 months. Congratulations.
Thank you.
70 doors.
Thank you.
Karolyn and Myron, proud of you guys.
Thank you.
By the way, you guys should
because of you.
It's not because of me. You guys,
definitely is because
I opened some doors for you. You chose to walk through them. It was because you moved your own 2 damn feet. Okay. In your cute grandma shoes.
They're fairly cute.
Okay. Carrie Ann, do you find that in working with agents, you go back to those who understand and help their sellers repeatedly? How do you build those relationships? Myron, that's more of your expertise.
Close a deal with an agent, and it does everything for you, right? If you say you can close the deal and then you don't, then you've basically ruined that relationship, in my opinion. So you can say everything you want to the agent, but once you close the deal, that is how you get them bringing you more deals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Proof of concept.
That's it.
Love it. Hey, Pace, in the SUBTO mentorship, can you show us how to create a real estate hedge fund for our capital raising for multifamily? Yes, we have multiple Zooms on this actually in the Zoom vault. So go in there. Vina also promised, I'm going to hold her to it. Vina promised to come into SUBTO Mastermind and deep dive in the fun of fun stuff. So we have a Zoom coming up with her, which will be good.
Amazing.
Twins Media. I have a 10-unit multi-unit deal. How do I get it funded with the Morby method? I talked to DSCR lenders. I don't have experience with rentals. Maybe a partnership. Yes. So this is, you guys hear me talk about Gator. One of the things that I do with Gator, my Gator lending business is sponsoring people's loans. So people will come to me and they go, I've got a deal. It needs the Morby method, but I can't get qualified for a loan because I have no experience. And I go, no problem. I'll sponsor you, but I need to be a 50% partner. Okay, that's part of Gator. Gator is not just lending on EMD and doing those kind of things, but Gator is also utilizing your resources of being able to sponsor somebody's loan. So yeah, I would choose somebody to sponsor you. My company does sponsor people's Morby method deals, but I no longer do it for people that are non-SUBTO students. I only want to operate with SUBTO students. So if you need a deal sponsored, email Molly at pacemorby.com. If you're not a SUBTO student, please do not send that email. Go find a SUBTO student. They'll help you out. Go find somebody that's being trained on Gator and they're a SUBTO student. That way you can trust them and you know they can help you out and they have access to additional questions. Cooper, landing fishing guide. Oh, dope. Are there roles you wish you could outsource or, oh, this is a great question. Great question, Cooper. Are there roles you wish you could outsource or hire that you or other may not be good at or just need off your plate?
Yes.
Name one.
Multifamily underwriting.
Multifamily. I'm working on it. I'm trying.
That's on lockdown, I'd say.
Well, I'm talking to everybody now.
Sure.
Right now, what could you outsource?
Right off the top of my head, and it's very silly, just like follow-up stuff in my emails. Emails or like DMs or just like clearing my inbox.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
If you hired somebody that was $3,000 a month,
Shit.
okay, which is scary.
That is very scary.
Because this is like I was talking to Alejandro about this on the drive over here. What I've always wanted the SUBTO mentorship to be about is way more than just creative finance. I've always wanted to be all about business in general, right? And what will happen is you will repeatedly run into the mental roadblocks in your own mind. So you guys have done SUBTO deals, seller finance deals, single family, multifamily. You've done flips. You've done all these things. You've overcome so many scary things. And now you've grown comfortable, but you're still afraid to hire another human being.
Right.
Okay. So let's think about this. If I found somebody at $3,000 a month for you, that their entire job was going through your emails and your DMs and following very specific rules, systems, and processes, do you think you would make an extra $3,000 a month?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. And this is like, we've reached a place in our business relationship where a few months ago, it was like, no, there's even at the mastermind in June, you're like, I would be severely disappointed in you if you didn't hire someone in 30 days. Well,
Scary.
Sorry. Like we've not hired anybody
Well,
yet.
it hasn't been 30 days either. So
no, in June, sir.
Oh, in June.
It has been.
It's been lots of 30 days. So so we're like, okay, now we're at this new place.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you go into SUBTO and say, we want somebody local to Dallas that comes and works and helps me with my email and my DMs for a week to do a trial run.
Yeah.
I can't pay you, but if you can find deals in my DMs. Here's the thing too, is if you know you have people handling your DMs, you know what you end up doing? Creating more content that pushes people to your DMs.
Right.
So like right now, you know you should be creating more content. You do a great job of it. You really do.
Thank you.
You're one of few people that I actually watch. I watch Alejandro too.
Why don't you like my shit then?
I do, because what are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
I make comments on your shit all the time.
I know you did. You left hearts on us the other day.
Yes.
I'm just messing.
Come on. What are you talking about?
I'm just giving you.
Okay. So you do a really great job.
Yes.
If you knew somebody was in your DMs, handling potential business, filtering things and filtering knuckleheads and all that kind of stuff, knowing that you could get one JV deal a month that makes you an extra $10,000, but you don't have to pay those people for the first 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
What would be keeping you from it at that point?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Nothing really.
Is it here's
just taking that action?
It's not just taking the action. I'm going to give you guys some tips here. It's the upfront expectation of letting that person know that you also are inexperienced at hiring people. You know how many people's lives I've negatively impacted?
Mm-hmm.
A lot. And this is a hard thing to admit. I had a lot of really great people when I was in my 20s, my early 30s. I did not deserve as a boss.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ready as a leader. Our company was not financially ready, and our systems and processes were not ready. However, those people taught us a lot of lessons that moved us forward. Those people don't work for me anymore because I thought they were the problem. But the reality is I was actually the problem in my 20s and the lack of leadership and all of those types of things. Okay. I feel bad for everybody out there. I'm very sorry for all the people that your lives, you came and worked 6 months for my company and I wasn't ready as a leader and you ended up getting fired or you quit or whatever it was, but that is part of business. What I wish I did is I wish I knew, and I wish I had somebody like me staring at me and saying, hire people for 30 days and say, we've never done this before. We've never hired somebody before. We are afraid to hire you, but here's our expectations. We're hoping it turns out this way. And if it doesn't turn out this way, then let's part as friends and let's make sure we write this all down in an like a letter of expectations. Would it make it easier to hire somebody at that point?
Yeah, for sure.
Then that's what you do. Go to SUBTO and say who in Dallas, because here's what I would suggest. Find somebody you, Karolyn, meet with once a week at Starbucks for 2 hours and go, here's how I handle my emails this week. Here's how I handle my DMs this week. And train them, don't pay them, just have them come and do it after hours, right? Because you'll find somebody has a 9-to-5 job, and you'll find somebody that after their 9-to-5 job can handle your DMs and your emails. So the next morning you wake up, your emails are cleared out, they're organized, they're responded to, your DMs. Imagine what that would do to your business.
It would be like clearing the fog.
So anybody in SUBTO right now, okay, so SUBTO students, please reach out to Karolyn and say, I would do that for you for 30 days with no expectation.
Okay.
And what they should do is go, I'm learning from somebody who has 70 doors in 11 months. I'm learning from somebody who has you've been a leader in the community. I am learning from somebody who's doing deals every single month, and I want to be in that proximity. That's my pay for the first 30 days. But if I can help Karolyn and Myron do deals out of Karolyn's DMs, then I should get paid a portion of those deals. And that's where they start getting paid.
Right.
Make sense?
It makes sense.
There you go.
I would love to pay that person.
Yeah.
Makes my heart pound a little bit, but
yeah, but you got to, there you go. That's how you know you got to get over it.
Yeah.
We have
Cool.
a total of 650 employees right now. That is scary.
How many?
650.
That's a lot.
Where are you going to be at the end of the year?
I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting year of like a lot of efficiencies and a lot of making sure we're, you look at like Google and all these companies that had these big layoffs. They didn't have layoffs because they were losing money. They had layoffs because they hired too many people back in 2020, 21, and 2022. And so like, okay, now this is a year of efficiency, right? So I think we're going through that as well. We had 700 employees. Our company is doing more revenue, but we actually downsized 50 employees to be more efficient. And we found holes. We hired a new CFO full-time. Last year, we went from having a controller to now we hired a CFO that's multiple triple digits a year. That is now going through every department, every role, every responsibility, and making everything way, way, way more efficient. And some people have lost their jobs over it.
Is he taking the controller job as well?
Nope. Keep the controller.
Keep the controller, yeah.
CFO is
Good.
more of like a strategist, right? And
Yeah.
he'll go and he'll build relationships with banks. He'll build relationships so we can go have lines of credit to go and do this or conquer this or go expand here. Or, hey, let's go buy a building. Why do we own this building? Why don't we do this? Very strategic. Something
Nice.
that like somebody smarter than me in that regard, somebody smarter than Cody and other partners that I have. So, but yeah, I think at the end of the year, I'll probably be somewhere around 700, but I think 2024, I'll go from 700 to like 1100 because I'll be ready for it.
Right.
Cool.
Cool.
Vina says, just an idea. When you close a deal and you're just starting, send a pre-written letter of recommendation about yourself to them and ask them to sign it for you. Then use this to build new relationships.
I love that.
That's really good.
Dang, Vina.
Always.
Love it.
Honestly, I think that should be the name of Vina Jetty's YouTube channel is Dang Vina.
Dang,
Dang,
Vina.
Vina.
Every time I listen to her speak, I'm like, dang, Vina.
She's mind blowing.
She is. She's a
We're
powerful
very
human
grateful
being.
for her.
Joel says, can we partner and learn to handle asset management and be on the GP? Joel, it's very hard to be on the GP, my friend. It's very hard to be on the GP. Can you partner? Here's what you've got to do. If you want to be a GP, you've got to bring a significant amount of capital to the table, or you've got to bring the deal to the table, or you have to operate the deal and have an operations company. Being a GP is very, very challenging. You guys are the GP essentially of your own little deal over there, that 40 unit deal.
Mhm.
Yep.
But not in the classic sense of what most people would look at as a GP, right? You're just owners, you're co-owners is really what it is.
Exactly right.
But can we partner and learn to handle asset management and be on the GP? I think if you Joel, I want to know nothing about asset management. Okay. I want to know, I was on site yesterday on my San Angelo property and Jimmy comes up to me, my maintenance guys, and goes, hey, can I get I've been working at this property for 7 years. How much do you think he makes a month? Full-time. He's full-time maintenance guy.
$3,000.
$2,000.
Mm.
$2,000. He gets paid $1,000 from Mario for the 40 units I own, and $1,000 from the other 40 units. He makes $2,000 total. Okay. So he asked me in person, goes, "You're the owner?" And we give him Mario gave him a $300 bonus for Christmas. Oh my gosh.
Does he pay rent?
Does he live there?
No, he doesn't live there.
Oh, wow.
He should.
Lives down the road. So he says, "Oh my gosh, you're the owner. What's the process of asking for a raise? I've been at the same pay rate for 7 years." And I said, "Brother, I think you deserve a raise, but I own the company, but I'm not the decision maker." And I look at Heidi and I go, "This is the decision maker. It's her job to run all that." So Joel, I'm going to give you a tip. Build your business the way you want your business to be in 10 years from now, not 10 days from now. Okay. Don't go out and learn asset management. You don't want to be an asset manager. You don't want to be a property manager. You want to go be a deal finder and a capital raiser. That's the people that make the most money. The person managing the asset, unless that's I could see Joel doing that because he's very analytical, but I don't know that that's really where you want to be. Do you want to manage assets?
No.
No, actually don't.
I'm surprised that you didn't say hell no.
I didn't want to
Hell
cuss.
no.
Oh, you didn't want to cuss?
Joel, I think we know Joel. He's here in Dallas. He would be great at finding deals.
Yeah, stop being analytical and trying to be asset management. Don't be an asset manager ever. Okay, what else do we got? Give me what opportunity should I get with a great credit score 740? I have no idea. I have not used my credit in over 700 transactions. I do not know.
A credit partner?
Be a credit partner.
Oh, you could sponsor.
Yeah.
I guess I do to some degree do that. So yeah, you could sponsor other people's deals, Victor. What opportunity should I get with a credit score and 740? Here's the problem with a credit score. When you rely your business strategy on a credit score, you rely on banks, and banks are going to limit you on how many properties you can own. And banks are also going to require you to bring 20 to 35% as a down payment. So you can't, your credit score means jack shit if you don't have 35% as a down payment.
I think Victor should go sign up for the Pace Morby Gator program.
I think you could sponsor you could be a sponsor. You could be a Gator sponsor. But Victor, what I would do is you saw the person earlier ask the question of, how do I do this Morby method transaction? I would go learn what Morby method means. And I would then use your, oh yeah, look, Sam Singh says fund to fund is the way for me, honestly. Yeah, Sam, and we had this conversation at Mastermind too, is that he needs to focus on building his YouTube channel and providing value there, because then he'll be able to raise more capital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I small-minded when thinking that everybody just should have a YouTube channel?
Not at all. I think people think it's oversaturated when it's really not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm battling with podcasting, like getting a podcast.
Why?
Because I mean, we're on one right now. Like, there's so many podcasts, but I actually I would love to have Don Ritt. Everybody here. I'd love to have them on a podcast with us.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a guy who could produce one.
I love it. Let's do it.
Ryan Harper, Harper Belmont.
Let's set it up.
That kind of freaked me.
Yeah.
Let's set it up.
For me, so the last couple of months I've been doing a random podcast. Okay. I don't know if you guys pay attention. Do you guys watch my YouTube channel?
Absolutely.
Don't lie to me.
I do. I was watching the video of you getting that gift.
Why don't you like my shit?
Oh, I hit. I need to sign in. There you go.
Scroll back
love
because we do.
Love it. That was well deserved. Yes.
Okay, so I've been doing just a tip for you guys. I've stopped caring about the format of every little thing that I do. Of it needs to be this and it needs to be that. It's just I'm going to do what I want to do today. Okay, and of course you got to get to a point where you deserve to be able to do that. But I can tell you where the best podcasts show up are the ones where I'm learning and I'm excited about the content. So if you go back, I've got a podcast I did with Bo Harrelson that just got posted 3 or 4 days ago. Mm-hmm. It's not really a podcast. It's just me talking. It looks like a podcast, but it's an hour-and-a-half long YouTube video. There's no title to the podcast. It's not like the Get Creative podcast.
Right.
It is literally just me talking to somebody for an hour and a half about a topic I want to talk about. So start out there. Start out who do I want to learn from? What are the 10 things I want to learn from Alejandro Alvarez? What are the 10 things I want to learn from Don Rich? What are the 10 things I want to learn from Vina Jetty? And just chat for an hour and a half. Just use it as a way to get to know people. Don't think about it as a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what I was doing, like a podcast.
Yeah,
We
you're
were
overthinking the
Yeah.
structure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Way more free flowing.
Okay, cool. So Cassandra says, I'm a new SUBTO student, but I've been cold calling and trying to get deals, but I don't know what to do when I get the deal when it comes. Okay, great. Cassandra, this is the great thing about being in part of a community of people that will help you. I have a studio full of people that will help you. I have 2 people on the screen that will help you. And we have thousands. Could you name all the students that are overly helpful in our community, or is it impossible because there's so many?
There's so many.
Helpful ones. I'm talking about helpful, can help you get the deal across the finish line. Is it like 10 people?
I'd say more than 10.
It's
Probably 1,000.
It's a lot. Okay. Here's the funny thing. Josh Duke, big leader in SUBTO, helps a lot of people get deals here in Dallas. I never see him on my Zooms anymore. There's a lot of helpful students that are in SUBTO that I don't see anymore, but they're out there helping all the other students, right?
Yeah.
You guys, you show up to my Zooms a lot because you and I are homies. Myron, I don't know what I got to do to deserve him to come to my
Myron's
shit.
like your wholesale hotline guy or your Sunday night
I always
podcast
show
guy.
up for Sunday service and wholesale.
Okay,
hotline.
you're on my Zooms.
I'm on the Zooms for sure.
So, but same thing with Alejandro Alvarez. Alejandro, are you on every Zoom that I do now, or you were a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, right? A year ago you were, but now you spend more of your time actually helping students get deals done, right? Okay. So if you're a SUBTO student, stop thinking about how do I do something and think what?
Who do I help?
No, who can help me?
Who can help me? Yeah.
If I'm a brand new student, it's not how. It's never how. It is always who. Who is the person that's going to solve this problem for me? Who's the person that's going to help me fund this deal? Have you guys ever raised money from the SUBTO community?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 grand, 100 grand, couple hundred grand?
100 grand and a little bit more for another deal.
Love it. Perfect. Okay, a couple more questions. What are some strategies you would do right now with $250,000 in cash? Go to investwithpace.com and give Pace all $250,000 in
I knew you were
cash.
going to say that.
I'm going to tell you something. This is a very common question I've been getting. So you guys have been seeing on my Instagram DMs that are my Instagram stories. I'll say, ask me a random question.
Yep.
The most common question is, I got $100,000. What do I do with it? Burn it. What do you need $100,000 for? Like, if you don't know how to find a deal, raise capital, manage a deal, do those types of things, like that doesn't, having cash actually doesn't provide any value to you. This is a weird conversation. Tell me.
No, it is weird.
There's an argument here. The argument is, well, yeah, I could do something with the money. Okay, then what? Let's say you put the $250,000 into somebody else's fund as an LP, right? You can invest with Vina. You can invest with me. You can invest with Karolyn and Miron. You can invest with a lot of people that have active deals going on, and you can get a monthly check going on. But guess what? The money's gone now. Next month, now the next question is going to be, hey, I no longer have $250,000. Now what do I do?
Right.
Because the $250,000 is now plugged in somebody else's deal. The thing you should be doing is stop thinking about how do I use my money. Think about what skills do I need to acquire to never have to use my own money ever again. Raising capital, that's a skill. Go learn how to raise capital. Finding deals, that's a skill. You don't have to use your own money to find deals. Okay. JVing with people. All of these amazing skills is what I would be learning instead, because $250,000, if you invested it into somebody else's deal next month, you don't have any money.
Right.
But if you want to, we are here for that.
No, I'm not saying, people are thinking that I'm going to tell them to do something magical with that money, and it's going to then give
They're
them
going to have $1 million like next year. Yeah.
Or they're going to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the most valuable thing that you would do. Okay. Oh, I like this. What would you do to get to $100,000 from $0? Let me finish this $250,000 answer real quick. Go invest the $250,000 in somebody else's deal that is active and kicking out cash flow. Like Vina and I just did a 192 unit deal. Our distributions on that 192 unit deal are coming out in like the next month or two. Okay. Our North Carolina deal that we did, 408 units, people are getting checks. So if you want to invest in a deal, call Karolyn and Miron, get a check every single month. Okay. Invest with me, go and invest and actually be a partner on a deal with me. Investwithpace.com, Karolyn Miron, Karolyn.Briley and Myron, Briley, or just Miron Briley.
Myron Briley.
DM them. If you guys have money you want to put into a multifamily deal and get it working, then go there. But now what next month? How are you going to improve yourself? You got to go acquire skills if you want to go make a lot of money, which then leads into Brandon Yang. What would you do to get to $100,000 from zero? Interesting question. I love this question. Bigger Pockets just asked me to do a whole series for their YouTube channel. Did you see that on my Instagram stories today?
Yes, I did.
They are like, we want to take your phone away. We want you to have zero money. We want you to have you sit on a park bench, and we want to see what you would do in 30 days. I'm like, 30 days?
Ooh.
Give me 30 minutes.
Love it.
Do you not feel like if you guys just go to our SUBTO Facebook group, you couldn't get a deal done in 30 minutes?
For sure.
Don't give me a phone. They're like, we want to see how you're going to feed yourself. Here's how quickly I could do a deal. I could do a deal. I go into our SUBTO Facebook group. I could scroll through the Facebook group. Oh, there's a deal. I would go, hey, I don't have a phone. Can we jump on a Zoom real quick fast? And I jump on a Zoom. I go, hey, your deal doesn't make a lot of sense. Go back to the seller, dude. Okay, fix it. Come back to me. And then I would go to the next post, the next post, the next post, the next post. Within probably 2-3 hours, I'd have 1 or 2 deals that would be getting assigned to me. And I would then go and find somebody else to assign it to. Okay, great. Do that enough times and organize yourself that you'll be able to get, yeah, Jonathan Newsom says, no reason you can't get to $100,000 from zero in 30 days. The problem is, here's the problem. That's me talking.
Right.
Even though I could tell you guys when you were brand new a year ago, do this, do this, do this. There's all these teeny little mechanics that you have to learn. The ability to hire people, maybe, Karolyn.
Absolutely.
Right? Getting over that little hump, that mental roadblock you got. All these other things you've got to acquire as skills. Time management being one of 1,000 things you have to learn in order for me to say all this stuff and make it sound easy to actually have it apply to you. The person that's saying, how do I go from 0 to 100,000? They got a lot of mindset stuff they got to overcome as well. Anybody feel like they've Alejandro, have you overcome any mindset stuff in the last couple of years? That has kept, was there mindset stuff going on in the last couple of years that kept you from making $100,000?
Correct, yes.
Even though you were a pretty high operator even 2 years ago.
Yep.
Same thing with you guys. A lot of mindset stuff you overcome all the time?
For sure. All the time. Still.
Okay. So I would say that go from 0 to $100,000. Here's the simple answer that people want to hear. Go do 10 wholesale deals and make $10,000 on each one. Get them from the free Facebook group or the SUBTO community. Go get 10 deals, assign them. Now the next question is, well, how do I do that? And this goes back to the guy that says, what would you do with $250,000 laying around? Still, it's always the same thing. Go acquire skills. Right?
I think one of the best things, finding those deals, but then what you said next was assign it to another person. So I'm just thinking I could find those deals. I could take them to Don Rich. I could take them to Alejandro, DFW, anybody, right?
Is it become a thing now, Don? DFW?
Oh, I love it.
Don freaking Walker, DFW.
Oh my gosh.
Finding those deals and knowing who to send them to. I think, and networking with SUBTO students who are doing a lot of deals. I think that's one of the best things that we've ever done.
Yes. Finding people who are one step ahead of you versus where when we initially started out, we were doggy paddling in the water because we were just talking to people that were in the same boat as us. And to each their own, like it's everyone's own individual journey. But if you're not like being resourceful and reaching out to the people who have that business built out or who have those steps in front of you, who know what they're doing, it's going to take a lot longer to get your traction and momentum.
Carly, go back to that that thing that was just on the screen a second ago, please. But by the way, guys, give Karly Grunman some love in the comments. She is absolutely amazing We love
Thank
her.
you, Carly.
Isn't she a ray of sunshine?
She really is. She's just amazing.
What if everybody you hired was as good as Carly?
Oh,
Would you be
We
afraid of
just
hiring
hire
people?
everybody.
oh my
You
gosh.
just hire everybody.
How many Carly? There's only one Carly.
In all my years, I've met one Carly. That's
She's
how
amazing.
special you are, Carly. Let me blow you a kiss, you
Aw.
unbelievable human being. She's amazing. She her and her husband joined the mentorship without talking to her. Did you see her
Oh
post?
yeah, I
about
saw
it?
that 1 year post. That was
So
almost
great.
us.
Okay, cool. Hey community, I just finished an appointment and bombed big time. Amazing. That
Love
makes
it.
me so happy. I remember the days when I used to bomb appointments too. You guys remember those days? Your first phone call to a seller, your first phone call to a JV partner, stumbling over saying
It's
stupid things.
disgusting.
The realtor was involved and not friendly. I got shook. There's no failing faster towards success. Monique, that is an absolute requirement for you to be successful, is to go through that stuff. It's not just because I hear people go, oh, it's okay, it'll be fine. It's like, no, congratulate them. That is a requirement.
Fail forward.
It's
Fail
going to
forward.
happen again.
Yeah, and
And
by the
it's
way,
not going to shook you.
no, it shouldn't. It won't shook you. You'll expect it, and it's this is also why I tease real estate agents a lot of times too. Is that real estate agents, forget about real estate agents. Anybody that's going to be nasty to you, it's not even about you. It's about some nasty thing that's going on in their life, and you don't know what they're going through. And the older you get, the more you realize that, and it's easier to deal with people when you realize that they're really struggling as well. Here's the thing: everybody's just trying to make money. Everybody's just trying to take care of their family. And everybody's just trying to do the best they possibly can. And sometimes the way that they treat you is actually not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of what they're going through and how they feel about themselves. So just love them the best you can. Joel, let's do one last question. Oh, great. I have gone a little long on this. This is great. I love this.
Thank you.
Joel says, what are the types of multifamily to aim for when doing seller finance? Class A is definitely no seller finance. Now I'm going to challenge you, Joel. I'm going to go get a Class A on seller finance, and I'm going to call it. Never mind, I won't say that. Where is C class and some B class value adds? Do we aim for mismanaged and owner? Bro, the reality is even in Class A, you're looking for mismanaged and owner stuff. Like, you're not at a hedge fund level. You're not going to be at Grant Cardone level where you have $300 to $600 million in cash sitting in your bank account. So going and buying top-notch operating top-notch operating Class A properties is not even on 99.9% of multifamily operators' radar. That's hedge fund status. Okay. So that shouldn't be on your radar regardless of what strategy you're doing. You're not there yet. Okay. Unless, Joel, you're really good at raising $200 or $300 million a year, then we can have that conversation, but you're not there yet. So you always go after mismanaged properties. If I want to go get a multifamily deal right now, I'm going to go find a multifamily deal where the owner has owned the property for over 10 years and the property is probably 40 years old. I can almost guarantee if I call 100 owners, I'm getting a deal on seller finance. You agree with that?
For sure.
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
30 units is kind of the minimum size. I wouldn't mess with anything smaller than that because now we've got a potential 9 unit, and 20 unit in Corpus Christi. But why would we go for those deals?
Because we already have an existing 30 units there, and it would be with the same seller, same terms,
And the same what else?
interest rate,
And the same what else? It's a who?
same seller,
Property manager.
Or property manager.
Same
Yes,
property manager, right?
Stephanie.
And you, when you met Stephanie in Corpus Christi, you're probably like, man, I'm impressed. This girl's dope.
She knows everything.
We like her.
Would you trust her with an extra 40 units?
Absolutely.
There you go. So, if you already have 30 units or 40 units in an area, it's okay to add on smaller multifamily as long as you have a great property manager that will say, yeah, I'll take those on. But you don't want to start with 9, 12, 16 units unless you want to be a mom and pop owner that can't hire any help, right?
Yeah, you'll have to manage those yourself.
Right. So we did this actually in the last Elephant Challenge. I showed people how to find owners that own the property for over 20 years, properties that were 50 years old or older. And those people have a high likelihood of being mismanaged and extracting all the cash out of the property and not reinvesting it back into the property. So, Carly, we got one more question.
Yeah.
They zoomed, Harper Belmont zoomed in on the screen for us. I'm working on an 8-unit in Dallas. Great. I bet you, Karolyn and Myron can help you out with that. What do I need to know besides the T12 and rent roll going to wholesale this? Okay, it sounds like a cash deal. Immediately turned off to me. I don't want to touch a cash deal. Not interested at all.
Not many people do.
Not many people
No.
want to touch cash deals.
I
Here,
don't
the,
want a
the
cash
challenge,
deal.
Carlos, is that now your buyer right now that wants to buy that deal is either A, got to buy it cash, which no real estate investor wants to buy anything with cash, or B, they've got to go to a debt provider like Marcus and Millichap or somebody else that is going to give them an interest rate at 8%. So you've got to understand what your buyer wants. So here's what I would be doing, Carlos. I would be talking to your buyers first. When you're brand new and you want to wholesale, you should have a couple of buyers that own 8-unit multifamily around that area and say, hey, are you looking to buy more? Okay. I hate to say this, but finding a buyer in a Facebook group is not the way to go. You're basically asking to do a JV with another wholesaler. So go to public record and find people that own 8 units or larger and call them up and say, my name is Carlos. I find deals and I'm looking for buyers to buy these deals.
Am I allowed to talk about Privy?
Sure.
Privy is so great at finding buyers for deals like this. So the Elephant Challenge, if you go watch the replays of Elephant Challenge, Pace tells you how to sign up for Privy. Go do that and you can find a buyer really quick.
Yeah, start with privy.com.
Yep.
And Privy's great because it's simple. Out of all the things you could spend money on, Privy is one of those things that gives you MLS. We just got MLS access in Arizona, which is amazing. And Laura did a test. My wife, Laura, did a test on MLS data versus Privy. It is literally the exact same data.
Beautiful.
It's phenomenal. How's Privy and DFW? You guys use it here?
Yeah, we do.
Every day.
Is it good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love Privy.
Love it. So Elephant Challenge is actually coming up. Oh, interesting. This is the value of having a team. I didn't know we had a website called elephantchallenge.info. I had no idea until right now. So great job, Carly. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Elephant Challenge has been fun. We are going to do some really fun stuff in the Elephant Challenge the next couple of months. This month is going to be multifamily. Next month, I plan on doing nothing but expired listings because I just get a lot of people are like, how do I do an expired listing? So my wife is going to show people how to do expired listings. We'll do that for 3 days. And then we're going to do a foreclosure challenge. Here's what my wife wants to do in April is she wants to have like 500 people on the Elephant Challenge stop 500 sellers foreclosures and
Wow.
postpone them.
That's so impactful.
So
Wow.
impactful. Think about how many foreclosures we could postpone. So my wife wants to do that in April. So guys, sign up for the Elephant Challenge. It's so fun because people are always thinking I'm trying to sell some shit. And then they're like 2 days or 3 days into the Elephant Challenge. They're like, you're not going to sell anything?
Right.
No.
Where's the pitch?
No, I just want people doing deals with my students. I want my students to be put in a leadership role and feel that stress and feel that growth. Look at you guys growing in the last 12 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paige.
Proud of you guys.
It's mind blowing. It's like a surreal experience to go back to our first initial meet and greet and all of that
Yeah.
and how that's evolved.
Watching you
And
run a
where we
meetup, watching you help so many other people get a lot of deals. It's, it's a lot like the people in this room sitting here in the studio with us. I drove over here, like Don Rich has done hundreds of deals, buying title companies and lending money and doing all these things. Alejandro, same thing, expanding and growing more businesses and doing all sorts of amazing things, making your life more efficient. And what's fun is that the questions never stop. The questions just change.
Yep.
And it's fun to watch you guys not have the same question. You have new problems and new challenges, and you guys are new people every single day that can adapt and handle those challenges. So super proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Paige.
grateful for you.
Are Karolyn and Myron going to be a part of the Elephant Challenge this week? I'm signed up and super excited. So I don't know. I don't want to bother Karolyn and Myron, but I probably will have Karolyn on there, not Myron.
Dang. No, I'm good with that.
No, he's the supporter in
He's
the
this. I
background.
know. I'm just teasing. He's always the one that's running things.
We got a tag team with the kids too.
Yeah.
So.
Is it better to have a real estate license as an investor? The answer to that is yes, Tammy. It is better to have a real estate license as an investor. However, do not go into getting a real estate license thinking you're going to be a real estate agent. I get another question, very common. You probably see this from time to time as well. People go, I'm a real estate agent, and how do I reframe my mind to not think about listings every time I talk to somebody about whole? You ever seen people ask that question?
Mm-hmm. I've seen it. Like they just want to self-serve.
They just want to do listings all the time. So if you get your license, here's how it helps you as an investor, or marry somebody. That's what I did. I married somebody who has a license. It helps you because you have MLS access. You also get to save money on your listings. And maybe from time to time, you have more credibility with another agent saying you're an agent. But also, do you know who hates real estate agents more than anybody else? Other agents.
Ooh.
Agents hate agents more than I can explain to you. I've lived with an agent for 12 years. I have heard the most. They treat each other horribly. They kill each other's deals. What? They backstab. Oh,
it's like multifamily.
Oh, it's 10 times worse.
Oh,
it's the absolute worst business. Real estate agents kill each other's deals. And if you're a real estate agent out here that disagrees with me, it's probably because your name is Karen and you're killing people's deals on a weekly basis.
Karen the deal killer.
Karen the deal killer. So guys, thank you so much for coming in. Did I make anybody mad? Tara here. If I'm new, just signed up with Prime for my LLC, waiting for my coach meeting and haven't done the SUBTO course yet. Should I wait to do the elephant challenge? You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I always tell people, don't join SUBTO. Just work with my SUBTO students. Do deals with them. Lend them money. Go work for them. Go do whatever you got to do, right? I would not trust a SUBTO student. I would not trust a non-SUBTO students in my DMs or my email. I would give that opportunity to somebody that is a SUBTO student and somebody also here that's local.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Ryan, or Carly, let's wrap up the show. Let's press end on the thing. I've no clicker, so I can't end the show, but thank you guys so much for being on Get Creative. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Love it.